Hello and welcome. Today I am going to play Betio 1943. This is a game from Pacific 1941-1945 game, and this is one of the smallest scenarios for this game, so this is quite a good thing to practice the rules before starting with some bigger battles. So, we have 4 days to clear an island from Japanese forces, and according to the rules, Japanese player has to set up his forces with only 1 unit on each hex. So this complicates a bit things for Japanese player, because otherwise it will be too easy for him simply to focus all his units on the hexes where Americans might land, and making their landing almost impossible. Even so, judging on my own experience with this scenario, this can be quite a tough scenario for American player, and it is not said that he's going to win this battle easily. Well, that's how it was in the real history, since Americans had a lot of problems with landing on Betio, so we will see how it will work this time. So, I have 2 naval support groups and 1 air support group, and now how I'm going to use them. I will keep my aircraft to support my attacks, and as for my ships, I am going to use them to fire on enemy. So, first of all, I'm going to make fire with these ships, and I have to declare which hexes are going to be shelled, and then I need to check if I hit desired hexes. So, this group is going to fire here, and this group is going to fire there. So, let's go and start here. First, I need to check if I hit that hex. I have to make 2d6 roll, and if I will roll doubles, then I hit some another hex, otherwise I hit the hex that I wanted to hit. Voila, I hit that hex, so now I can check how effective my fire was. So, enemy has a unit with the strength of 3, and I have a unit with a strength of 6. So I am firing, and now I need to check for modifiers. Enemy is in the fortification, right? They are in the buildings, yes, so we have -2 for this, and notice that the entire island is covered by the woods. So, let's carry on, and now I can decide if I want to use my Air Force and my naval units to shell enemy hexes, or to use them as direct support for my combat. I think I will use them to directly support my combat, hoping they will provide me strength points that I really need to make a successful assault. So, let's go. I'm starting with this group landing here, and this group will also attack this hex. So I'm going to make a joint attack on this hex. So I am landing on the hex with enemy unit. This means that I can only use I have to halve the strength of my units twice. Yes, this is going to be a really complicated case. So, and it cannot be less than 1. So 1, 2, 3.5, and 4. So I have 4 strength points here, and then +5 from my aircraft, and then I need to check if my ships hit directly. So they are going to support this attack, and now I need to make a roll. If I will roll doubles, they missed. Otherwise, they hit the desired hex. It's 3 and 4, so yes, we hit. We can also add 6 points from that hex. So there was 4, 5, so it's 9, and +6, it is 15. So we have 15. And next we need to check for our modifiers. 5 to 1, now 6 to 1 because we have combat engineers, and 7 to 1 because this unit has a star. So this is 7 to 1. Now 6 to 1 because of the fortification, 4 to 1 because of the buildings, and 3 to 1 because of the woods. So this is 3 to 1 as the total odds. Not bad, I would say. Now let's see if this attack will be successful. 8. In the 3 to 1, this is B1. So they have to retreat 1 hex, let it be here, and they are landing on that hex. So we have a bridgehead. Beachhead. Sorry, not bridgehead, but beachhead. Okay, that's good. And now we have to check for the losses. Americans had a total strength of 15, so it will be 11-15 verse. Now, +1 because of the star. We don't get a modifier for combat engineers when it comes to losses, so it's 16-20. And now, -1 for the fortification, -1 for the woods, and -1 for the building. So it's 4-5. And 6, no losses for Japanese unit. That's bad. And next, American losses. Japanese unit had a strength of 3, 1, 2, 3, and -1, 6, 10. And 6, no losses for Americans either. Okay, looks like we scared them out and they simply ran away. That's good. Now, this group is landing here. They are going to get naval support from this group, so I need to make a roll to see if these ships hit the hex I want them to hit. 4, yeah, they did. So I have 7, 8, and 9. So I have 9 versus 3, so it will be 3 to 1, 4 to 1 because of the combat engineers, 3 to 1 because of the fortification, and 2 to 1 because of the forest. So the final odds are 2 to 1. 6. In the 2 to 1 it is B1. So defender has to retreat 1 hex. So we sized another bridgehead. They are both separated, so this is not good. But well, at last we are on the island. Okay, next we need to check for the losses. Americans had 9, so 6, 10. -2, so 2, 3. And 6, no losses for Japanese unit. And Japanese unit had 2, +2, sorry, 3, +2, 6, 10 verse, and 7, no losses. Okay, what a flawless battles we have here. No significant losses on both sides. So that's all when it comes to the American sea landing. And now American movement. Let's see. Do I really need to make any movement? So they are going to fortify themselves on that hex, definitely. As for this group, they are now much stronger, but attacking all these 3 Japanese groups together would be a pretty bad idea, so they are going to fortify themselves too. Okay, so that's all for Americans. They hold the beachheads and now they need to get more units to drive deeper into the Japanese defense. I have to say that I played this scenario before, and it's not like I won every time, not at all. So that's all for Americans, and now Japanese player. What Japanese player like to do? I think I will move my snipers here. And this battalion here. So that's all. I am not going to make any attacks. I'm going simply to defend my positions, so we are moving into night turn of this day. And night turn provides a lot of complicated things. Your movement is halved, which is not a big deal on this small island, but also your strength is halved when you are attacking. So if you don't have really good odds, you shouldn't perform night attacks. And same goes to Americans here. They are not going to do any stuff because you cannot use your naval groups in the night turns. You cannot use your aircraft in the night turns also. So Americans, I think, are not strong enough to make any good progress right now. So they are simply going to fortify their positions and wait for reinforcements. And now we go to Japanese units, and here the situation goes a bit different. Because, according to the system rules, in first night turn of every battle where Japanese forces are involved, Japanese player must attack all the American units in his unit's zone of controls in the night turn, in the first night turn of the game. Well, you know, kinda banzai attack. Usually it was a suicidal attacks, and I believe the same things might happen here, but rules tells us to do so, so we have no choice but to make these attacks. So first here, these two stacks are going to attack this, and these three are going to attack them. I feel bad, but we don't have much option. First of all, attacking unit strength is halved. So 1, they have 3, so it is 1.5, so 2.5. 1.5 plus 2.5 is 4, and 5. So our strength is 5 versus 1 and 4. So 5 versus 5, it is 1 to 1. This is not very bad. Next, we need to make a special roll for the night attack, because every time you perform attack in the night turn, you need to make a roll to see if you want to get any modifiers. Usually you get negative modifiers, but Japanese player has a good thing because he gets +1 modifier for this roll. So there is a bigger chance for Japanese player to get a better modifier for the night combat, or at last didn't get negative modifier. So let's make a roll for the night turn. 3 plus 1, it is 4. So nothing, no modifiers. That's good. So we get 5 versus 5, so this is no modifier. Combat engineers provide +1, but only if you are attacking. So still 1 to 1. And now -1 because of the fortification, so 1 to 2, and -1 because of the woods, so 1 to 3. And that's where the situation gets worse. So it is 1 to 3, and let's make a roll. It's 5. This is A1. So attacker has to retreat 1 hex. They can retreat here, but they cannot. Why? Well, the answer is clear. The only available hex is this one, and here there is enemy zone of control. So none of these units might retreat, and due to this fact, they have to suffer 1 point loss each. And this means these snipers are eliminated because they have only 1 point. And this battalion suffers 1 loss. Alright, and now let's check for the losses after combat. Americans had 5, so 4-5, +2 because of the fortifications and woods, 7, -1, so 1 loss for Japanese unit. And Japanese units had 5, so 4-5, -2, it is verse of 1. No losses for Americans. Okay, that was interesting. And the second battle goes here. We have 1.5, 3, 4.5, 5, 5.5, and then 7. So it's 7 versus 3, 7, 8, 11. So it's 1 to 2 because of the odds. And next, we need to make a roll for the night combat. 4. because a Japanese player gets +1, so no modifier. Okay, so it was 1 to 2. Now modifier column shifts. -1 because of the star, -1 because of the fortification, -1 because of the buildings, and -1 because of the woods. So this is going to be less than 1 to 4, the worst possible result. So let's make a roll, and 4. Oh, not bad, only a 1. So Japanese units have to retreat 1 hex. 1, 1, and these guys cannot, because both available hexes are in the enemy zone of control, so these 2 units suffer 1 loss. And this means that mortars are eliminated, and this battalion suffers 1 loss. Next, we need to make a check for the losses, and as for Americans it will be 11-15, +1 because of the woods, +1 because of the buildings, +1 because of the fortifications. So 26-30 and 9, 2 losses. So these 2 units, each of them suffers 1 loss. And American losses, it will be in the verse of 1, 5, nothing. Okay, so this concludes failed Japanese counterattack, just like as I predicted. It's not a big surprise, and this concludes first day of the battle. A good thing is that in the next night turns, Japanese units won't have to perform these suicidal attacks. They have only to do it in the first night of the battle. Now, we have a couple of more groups to land, and the good thing that we managed to clear the beaches, so they have a space to land. So what are they going to do? This group is going to land on this hex. This battalion lands here. This group lands there, and as for this group, it will also land on that hex. So we can remove our ships, and now we can do the movement phase. I don't have much to move again, because I am blocked by Japanese zones of control all the time, everywhere. So I will simply fortify my units, but this time I will definitely try to dig into the Japanese defense deeper, hoping that this will give me some good options. So where I'm going to attack? Here and there, and I wonder if I should attack here as well, but they are pretty strong, so maybe pulverizing these units might do better. So let's start here. I will call for naval support, so let's see if they hit. They hit, so I got 7, and now 5, so it's 12, 4, so it's 16, 1, 17, and 4, 21. So I have 21 versus 3, so this is 7 to 1, 8 to 1 because of the combat engineers, and 10 to 1 because of the 2 stars. So it's 10 to 1, and now 9 to 1 because of the fortification, and 8 to 1 because of the woods. So it's 8 to 1 as a final odds for this battle. It is 6, so it is B3. So they cannot retreat because all the possible hexes of retreat are occupied by enemies, so they have to suffer 3 losses. So 1, 2, 3. And now let's roll for the losses after combat. I had 60-20, plus 2 because of the stars, minus 2 because of the fortifications and woods, so it's 60-20, and 9, they are eliminated. Okay. And I have to roll for American losses too, so it was 1, no, it was 2 and 3, and plus 2 minus 2, so 2, 3, 6, no losses for Americans. That's good. Now, here, I have 3, 7, 8, and 12. 12 plus 5, so it will be 17. 17 versus 2. So it's 17 versus 2, it is going to be 8-1, 9-1 because of the star, and 10-1 because of the combat engineers, so it's 10-1, and now 9-1 because of the fortification, and here we have an airfield, so this is clear terrain, so no modifier, so only 9-1. Okay. Ooh, not good. 10. This is just B2. They cannot retreat because zones of control are everywhere, so 2 losses for them. And now losses after combat. Americans will use 60-20 column, plus 1 because of the star, minus 1 because of the fortification, so it remains 60-20, and 7-1 loss. So this unit remains alive. And now American losses, it will be in the 2-3 verse, 4, no losses for Americans, that's good. And the final attack goes here, and this is going to be tough because they have snipers, and snipers halve our infantry strength twice. So I have 1.5, 6.5, 6.5 plus 1.5, it will be 8. 8 plus 5, 13. 13 plus 1.5, 14.5, so we have 14. And let's check if we can hit them with these ships. It will be 14, and yeah, we hit them, so we get 7. So it's 14 plus 7, it's 21, versus 3, 4, and 7. So it's 3-1, 4-1, 5-1 because of the tanks. Tanks have 2 stars. So it's it was 3-1 and 5-1 now. And this is clear terrain, so it is 5-1. Let's make a roll. And 9 in the 5-1. This is B1, and they cannot retreat, so each of these units suffers 1 loss. So snipers are eliminated because they have only 1 point, so they can be really useful, but you can see they are easy to be eliminated, and each of the remaining Japanese units suffer 1 loss. And now losses after combat. So it will be 21-25 plus 2. It will be 31-35, and 11, 3 losses. Oh, this is painful. One, 2, 3. And American losses. They had 7, minus 2, 2, 3, 8. No losses for Americans. Okay, and this concludes American actions. Now, Japanese actions. They are going to fortify themselves into this part of the island, and same goes to them. They feel that the end is close, but still they will try to defend. So this concludes the day turn, and we are moving into the night turn. Okay, like I said before, attacking in the night turn is tricky. But I think we managed to weaken Japanese units enough to risk such night attacks. So I will move this stack here, and I will try to push further, hoping that I will be able to at last destroy or damage seriously some of these Japanese units here. So, since this is night turn, my strength is halved. So I have 1.5, 3, 3.5, 4.5, and 4.5 plus 1.5, it will be 6. So I have 6 versus 1. So it's 6 to 1. Not bad. 7 to 1 because of the combat engineers. 8 to 1 because of the star. So it's 8 to 1. And now 7 to 1 because of the fortification. Now a night combat roll. 4, nothing. So it is 6 to 1. Sorry, 8 to 1. And minus fortification, 7 to 1. 8 in the 7 to 1, this is B2. So they have to retreat 2 hexes, and they cannot, so they have to suffer 2 losses. And that's perfectly fine, because this is enough to destroy them. Okay. So I can make my pursuit with couple of units onto this hex. I need to make a roll for American losses too, so it will be 1, and no losses for Americans. Now these 2 groups are attacking here. It will be 2, 3, 5, 7.5, 9.5, 9.5 plus 2, 11.5, 14, 16.5, 18.5. So I have 18 versus 2. 18 versus 2, it will be 9 to 1, 10 to 1 because of the stars, and now night attack roll. Nothing, again, we are lucky. So this is 10 to 1, minus 1 because of the fortification, so it's 9 to 1, and 8 in the 9 to 1, this is B2. So each of these units suffer 2 losses. Well, they still remain here, but they are seriously damaged. And now let's roll for losses. Now, we had 18, so it will be 60-20, plus 2 for the stars, so it's 26-30, minus 1 because of the fortification, 21-25. And 3, these are additional 3 losses. Okay, that's good, so they are dead and done. And now let's make a roll for American losses. Japanese units had 2, plus 1 and minus 2, so it's 1, no losses. Okay, looks like it's going fabulous. I have to admit that it's going better than I ever played. I never get such a good result when I played this scenario. This is interesting. So far Americans lost only 1 point. Yeah, it's almost a flawless victory for them so far. Okay, and this concludes night turn for Americans. Well, Japanese units are simply staying where they are. They are waiting for the final attack. So we are going into 3rd day of the landing operation. We got our last battalion coming. It is going to be placed here. And now we can go on. As for this day, I'm going to use my buff naval support group to shell this hex. They are going to do it together, joining their strength, but first of all, I need to make sure they hit the hex. So first this group, they hit, and that group, they hit. Oh, barely. But they both hit, so they have total strength of 13. And the remaining two Japanese units had a strength of 4. And they have -2 due to the woods and the fortifications. It's 5 -2, so it's 3. So this is -1. Nothing impressive. So now movement phase. This battalion is going to land here, and now I need to focus my attack on that hex. So I cannot have more than 24 points on the single hex. So 4, 8, 12, 17, 22, 23, and 24. So this is my total strength I can get on the single hex, and I will use this air support too. So I have 24 plus 5, so it's 29 versus... Wow, they still have 4 points. Amazing. So 29 versus 4. It will be 7-1. 7-1 plus 1 because of the combat engineers, so 8-1, and plus 2 because of tanks, so 10-1, and -1 because of the fortification, 9-1, -1 because of the woods, so it's 8-1, and 7 in the 8-1, this is B2. So they have retreat 2 hexes, 1, 2, they still have where to retreat, good for them. And I am pursuing them. And next, my losses roll for our Japanese forces. I had 29, so 26-30, plus 2 because of the tanks, -2 because of the terrain and the fortifications, so it's 26-30, and 6, 2 points. So 1-7 and 3-7. And American losses, they had 4, 8, no losses for Americans. That's good. So that's all for American actions. Japanese units, well, what they can do? They fortify themselves on that hex. And this concludes this day. We are moving into the night. So do I want to attack in the night? Why not? This is, we have one more day only, so we need to hurry. So, well, it won't hurt to try. So, let's go with night attack. We have 1, 2, 4.5, 7, 9, 11, 13. So this is 13 versus 3. 13 versus 3. It will be 4-1. 5-1 because of the combat engineers, and 7-1 because of the tanks. 6-1 because of the fortification, and 5-1 because of the bush. So it's 4-1. Oh, and night combat roll. My god! A worst possible roll. Attacker suffers 1 loss instantly and gets -2. So it was 7-1, so it will be 5-1 now. 5 in the 5-1, B2. So they can only retreat here. They cannot retreat any further. So each of them has to suffer one loss, because they cannot move any further. I pursue them, and now losses after combat. It was 13, so 11, 15, plus 2 and minus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Japanese losses are on 4, 5. No losses. And American losses 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Minus 2, 4, 5. No losses. Okay, this battle is really unusual because of these extremely low losses. Alright, so this concludes American actions. Japanese units are fortifying themselves on this last part of the island. We are going into the last day of the battle, and now I will simply throw everything I have on them, hoping I will be able to eliminate them once and for all. So my ships are going to support this attack, so let's roll for their for hitting this hex. First for them. Oh, we missed. Terrible. So which hex was hit? This is 3. So 1, 2, 3. So all our shells are in the sea. No effect. Now this group, they hit. So we got 7, 5. So it is 12. 12 plus 24. So it is 36. Versus, and they have only 2. Yeah, so it's 36 versus 2, so it's 10 to 1, and minus fortifications and bush, so it is 8 to 1. And for 8 to 1 it is B3. So each unit suffers 3 losses because they cannot retreat, and they are eliminated. I have to admit, it went in the way I never saw this scenario before. Why? Let me show you the losses. Japanese units are completely destroyed, and Americans lost only 2 points. This is incredible. I mean, incredibly good losses, good rolls, but a big amount of luck. Because in the original history, this battle was quite bloody for Americans, and it didn't went that well. But that's a good thing in the war games. You don't have to repeat history, but you can go in your own way. So that would be all for today. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.